Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal's space program, where we need to figure out how exactly we're going to deliver these payloads. We have two payloads here, and we can do it in basically any order. I think our best bet might be getting Dexter out of here first, although it's going to be interesting getting this thing unpacked. No doubt about that. We'll see how that ends up going. I'm just thinking about how we're going to handle it. And also, no. I was going to say we're going to have a shortage, potentially, of Clampotron docking ports. Did we utilize our Clampotron docking port that was intended for the Canadarm at some point? We may have, but we may have one sitting around. That's a grab arm. The Canadarm currently has a grabber on it. Inside of here is struts. Inside of here is absolutely nothing at all. What else do we have in here? I believe we have this guy down here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we don't have a docking port for it. That could potentially be this docking port. Does anything end up going on top of the Z1's truss? We should probably check that. Taking a quick look at the diagram here, the Z1 truss is this guy right here, and actually nothing goes on top of the Z1 truss, it looks like. So I think we can safely steal that docking port. That seems pretty decent. So what we need to do first and foremost is get the Dexter out of here. So let's get Bill EVA'd, and we'll start moving some of these struts around. So first things first, let's get this guy out of here. And this one. There we go. This is definitely a little on the laggy side, no doubt about it. But I mean, this is a very complicated space station, right? I'm not surprised that it's a little laggy. We'll take this out of here, and that'll go right there. Phenomenal. And is that all we need to free this up? I think it might be. So now we're going to hop over here, and we're going to need to clip in here. I think. It's going to be a little hard to see, but what we need to do is we need to get... Where are we? Okay. We need to get... This is a crew hatch here. That's a Clampotron docking port there. We need to get our... I need to turn the camera here, so this is going to get mildly awkward. But this is what we need. So I'm going to extend this out. That's going to pull up this Dexter, right? And we can see that this is definitely turning on us here. Okay, I'm just going to position it there for the time being. I think we're still strutted to something. I'm pretty sure we are. So what are we still strutted to? There is almost certainly still something strutted here. Maybe it is something out over this way? Hang on a moment. I think it's something over this way. Let's clip in here and take a quick peek. I thought that we had eliminated all of the struts. But maybe we didn't. Just taking a look here to see. I don't know. Maybe this is just the way it's supposed to be. I don't think that is. Let's try to pull this guy up a bit. Okay, that's opening. I actually want to close it here, right? We're definitely still connected to something over here. We are absolutely connected to something. Okay, let's just pull this guy out a bit. Of course, this is going to need to be unstrutted as well. Okay, this is going to be a fairly extensive procedure, it seems. Gotcha. So we're going to need to remove these struts, of course. There should only be 3 struts here. So we'll take this one out. And then we'll take this one out. We just need more visibility here. Okay, there we go. So that gets the pressurized section moving out. Phenomenal. Now, this is going to need to be at approximately a 90-degree angle. So we'll just put this right up over here. It's, of course, moving a little too fast. We can see that this is really waving around at this time. So I think that whatever the strut that's connecting them is potentially inside of this lab. Maybe like this guy right here? I don't think so. It shouldn't be. There's definitely a strut there, though. So let's see what happens if we do something like this. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely a strut in here somewhere that I'm not seeing. No doubt about it. We need to get these parts separated, right? That is absolutely something that is needed. What is connecting them? There clearly is something connecting them. Let's clip in over here and see if we can take a peek. I really don't see anything at all connecting them. I really, really don't. Huh. Let's extend this out and see what happens. Maybe it's this strut here? So it's clearly connected here, right? I think there's no doubt about that one. So let's just start removing some of these struts. So first things first. Let's get rid of this one. This strut gets removed, and that immediately snaps. Okay, so that snapped around over here. We see a strut over this way. Let's get rid of that one. That caused a lot of change. That might have been the one that was linking us together. These two might be independent now. Let's see. So back to the shuttle. I want to rotate our Dexter here. Oh, this is back at Bill. Okay. I want to rotate the Dexter arm here to be about here. Is this... How could this arm possibly be attached here? What is... Okay. That's going to be really awkward. I'm very confused about what's happening here right now. They're still connected in some way. There's absolutely no way that this could be connected here. Because it's not. They must be strutted on somewhere here. This strut must be bugged in some way. So that's a hinge there. This one. I think it's this strut. Okay. I think we've got it figured out. Bill, let's grab that strut out of there. Yeah, that's an incorrectly connected strut. Okay. There we go. That freed it. That was wild. Okay. I was very confused about that one. No doubt about it. So I want this guy to be at a 90-degree angle here. Actually, I kind of want it to be at a 0-degree angle, and we're going to turn that traverse rate way down, right? We don't need this to be anywhere near that high. Okay, so we're going to do that. I'm going to unextend this arm as well. We just want to tuck this guy back away for the moment. Okay, now that we've got this all sorted here, I want to grab... Well, actually, we're going to need to remove another strut here. That is going to be... this one over here. Where is it? Here. Okay. So let's grab this and remove this strut here. There we go. Strut removed. Excellent. Unpacking this thing definitely was a challenge. I knew it would be, but it was more than expected. That's for sure. Okay, let's put the Dexter at 0 here. Floating point issue there, but whatever. Sure, that'll be fine. And then we would need this rotation servo to be at 0. So right about here. And now the Dexter is basically in a position where we can mount it. Now, we don't have a mounting point for it. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is head over towards the Canadarm right now. So what I want to do is I want to set the Canadarm to be, if we grab this guy, that's a 0-degree angle there? I guess it is. So it would really be this guy that's at the wrong angle, right? We can compensate for that, though, by setting our rotation servo to be like -2 to 5 degrees. I'm not sure exactly where it's going to need to be. I want this guy to be at a target angle of 0. I just want to have the Canadarm be going like straight out from its current position, right? And I don't actually care what angle it's on exactly, so that'll be fine. So we'll just get that moving, and we need to head in towards the station, although I do want to make sure that this is strutted into some form of place, right? So we're going to position this from here to here. Okay, I guess that works. So that'll be fine, and we're going to dock that in up here. So now we need to get over to the station here, and I want to go kind of underneath the station. And we're going to have to park over on the other side of the station. Unpacking this was kind of wild, no doubt about that. That strut was not connected to the thing I thought it was. That's for sure. But luckily we got there in the end. So let's just get this moved right on over to about here or so. We don't want to go directly to target. I just want to position about here. And I just want to burn over to the other side of the station. So we'll just go at about 5 meters per second, and then we'll flip around to relative velocity minus. And we'll just cruise on over to the other side. I don't know if that arm is still turning. It looks like it's not in its exact position yet. It may or may not be turning without us currently operating it. We'll see. So for the moment, we're going to just head on over here and get to the other side of the station. I don't like this roll, so we're going to work on fixing the roll a bit. But we just need to head over here, grab the docking port from our Z1 strut, which is, of course, not far away from here. And then that's going to replace the claw at the end here. Okay, yeah, that is at a about 90-degree angle there. Okay, that's reasonably fine. Let's bring our momentum to a halt about now. Okay. Just bringing that down very, very gently at this point. And we just need to hop over to the Z1 strut over here and replace this grab arm. So we need to get a lot closer to the actual Canadarm here. Let's go into kill rot for the moment. And I want to rotate us over to be about here-ish, but I want to be a little nose up from this position. And I want to go a little bit off to the left here. So about right here or so. That should do the trick. Gonna head forward at a very minute rate. Only about 0.5 meter per second here. And I'm going to use RCS to adjust our velocity to put us in dead forward vectoring. Okay. Now we can warp and progress forward over here a bit. There we go. And let's bring this approximately to a halt. That was the wrong direction. Cool. The main concern right now is how we're going to move these parts around. But I think it should be relatively fine. So let's have Bill EVA. We're going to have to do a little bit of work on station here. So he's going to let go, and we are going to head on over. What I want to do here is grab onto like the Destiny Lab. I think that'll be the preferred location to be. We're going to need to get this Advanced Grabbing Unit Junior. We're going to need to take that off of the Canadarm for right now, because we are, of course, upgrading the Canadarm. So we're just going to head over here for the moment. I'd like to grab onto this ladder. There we go. Are we close enough to manipulate this? We are not, but we are close enough to manipulate this. And we'll place that inside of the hitchhiker storage container for the moment. Next, what we can do is we can go to the station controls here, and we can put this guy, instead of being at this minus 86 here, we can have, actually, no, this is fine. Stay at that minus 90. We're going to need this to also be at minus 90. And I'm going to disarm this guy. I don't want to accidentally grab something. So disarm the advanced grabbing unit. We're going to be removing that for the time being. Okay. So there we go. Now we're going to hop over to Bill. And as soon as this comes into range here, which it should quite soon, we're going to grab the advanced grabbing unit, which it is in range now. So we're going to grab the advanced grabbing unit, remove that, place it inside of the hitchhiker storage container for the time being. And then we may want to adjust the rotation on this guy. I can see it's not exactly correct. So if we were to do that, I'm just going to allow this to get into position here. Not quite there yet. Okay, somewhere around here. Yeah, it's approximately in position now. So at this point, I want to grab this rotation. There we go, and do that. Then I'm going to grab our docking port here. We need to be in place mode for that. Place mode. There we go. What just happened here? That's kind of wild. Operation in progress cannot detach now. Okay, all I did was rotate it. That's exciting. I guess we can detach it and reattach it. It didn't get placed perfectly. We can try snapping it in. Operation in progress. So we're going to have to wait for it to settle, I guess. It's probably good enough. We can always compensate for it by rotating the servo, right? So that should be reasonably fine. Let's go back into place mode at this point and get this guy placed on. So we need to rotate it about like that and attach it here. Okay. It's rotating. And I don't know why, but that appears to be doing the trick. It's still rotating. Is that servo rotating? The servo might be rotating for some reason. So that might do the trick. Let's take a look here. Yeah, the servo is currently rotating. So it's just trying to make its way around. It's going to stop in a moment. So that's absolutely okay. There we go. Now that's done. So at this point, I want to get this guy to 0 degrees. There we go. Oh, hang on. There we go. And then this guy over to 0 degrees. We just want to extend the Canadarm out relatively straight here, and we want to attach the Dexter onto the end here, now that we've got this all set up correctly. So that'll be fine. This arm is hilariously big, by the way. Definitely not in scale, but that's okay. That is absolutely fine. So next up, of course, we're going to potentially need a little bit more space here. No, I think it should probably be okay. We're going to set this guy as our target. I want to control from here, and we're going, actually, let's continue to control from the cockpit for the moment. Control from here. We're going to need to move backwards just a smidge. So we're going to pull this backwards a bit at around half a meter per second will be fine, I'm sure. We might have to move off to the left a little bit here. We'll see. I'm just eyeballing that amount of space there. It might be okay. Emphasis on the might. So we're just going to back off a little bit here. I'm going to... Oh yeah, we can't warp because he's on this ladder. We could physics warp, but I really don't want to physics warp this close to the station. So for now, what I'm going to do is we're just going to drift backwards here until these are roughly in line, and then we'll line it up. I don't really care what the orientation of this docking is. We can always change it with the servos, so that's not a concern. Let's begin our braking burn here. This is relatively close here. We can definitely compensate for that as we head into dock. Now, we're almost certainly going to need to head up here as we roll over, right? So we'll just position it about here. I want to point at target. We might not need to do that, actually. But what we do need to do is control from here. This is going to be kind of awkward. Okay, putting it on kill rot for the time being. We're going to have to head slightly down from this current perspective, which is going to, awkwardly enough, I think be right. No, it's not right. It's back, right. We need to head back here. We just need a little bit more space at this point. So we're pulling back and away. There we go. We've now countered that momentum. Excellent. Our angling is, of course, going to be very awkward here. No doubt about it. But now I want to start pointing at target here pretty soon. So we can do that possibly about now. Yeah, let's get that going. So we're just going to point at target. I am using RCS for that. Okay, that's overshooting a bit. But I do want to set our actual momentum to be right on the target point, right? So right about here. There we go. Now we can head towards target. We're going to need to go a bit up from our current vector, which is going to be mildly awkward, which is going to be functionally, I believe, right. Yeah, something along those lines. Okay, we're now heading very, very slightly towards the target. I want to be able to see our vectoring here, and let me look here. Yeah, it's going to end up being this direction, which is indeed right. I got that correct. Okay, so we're going to bring this up. We're going mostly up at this point to just try to line this thing up a bit, right? That's the overall idea here anyway. We just want to line it right on up. And then we'll bring this back and bring it right in. Excellent. So this will be absolutely fine. We'll get this Dexter attached. And then it'll be a much easier attachment for the next object. We're going to have to find a place to temporarily store it. I'm thinking about putting it in the Zenith port of the Harmony node, which would end up being the opposite of this port, I think, right? No, that would be the Zenith port. This is the port where it's finally going to be attached to, but we need that port open. So it's going to have to be the nadir port for the time being. Okay, well, that's reasonably fine. We're still going upwards here, and that is A-okay. Like I said, I don't really care about the orientation of the Dexter here. We can rotate it with the rotation servos as much as we want. So that'll be fine. Let's just bring this component in, and I'm keeping an eye on our verticality here. Obviously, we need a little more. If we look at a straight line from here, we need to be like up this direction or so. So we need to go a little bit higher up. We can probably start killing some of this vertical velocity soon, though. We are definitely getting very, very close here. Yeah, about right here or so. I'm starting to kill that vectoring. Actually, hang on. This vectoring is off over on this side. Yeah, that would make sense. We need to go this way, though. Because we had quite a lot of rotation in that, right? So at this point, we're going to need to head in towards target a bit. And that's okay. We can definitely do that. We're now heading towards target, and we need to get our vector changed. There we go. We can now see our prograde marker. So get our vector changed to be directly towards target here. I am going to do a little bit of rolling here, and we're just going to bring this guy over to be about like so. I think we need a little bit more verticality and a little bit more on the roll front here. Okay, we definitely need some verticality. So let's bring this up. Somewhere around here or so. And we're still not completely lined up, but that's okay. We're just continuing to slowly head on in, but what we need right now is our angling. So we're just adjusting our velocity in the upward vector here from our current vantage point. And this is a lot better at this point. It's not perfect, but it's probably good enough to dock. So let's bring this over a bit. Yeah, this is actually really good here. Let's head in towards the docking port. And let's make sure that this is over here. There we go. Gonna change our rotation just a smidge here. It doesn't have to be perfect, though. We can always alter that. So I'm not too concerned about that one. Okay. Let's see how this goes. We're very close here. I think maybe a little bit more verticality would be good. I'm going to put this on kill rot for right now. And we are docked. I like it. Okay, so now the question is, are we going to strut this in? I'm not sure it's necessary to, but I'm also not sure it's not necessary. So for the moment, let's just go grab Bill here, who is looking very spooky indeed in the bugged lighting. Okay, he is, Bill, you've looked better. I'm not gonna lie. Game could use a restart already, which is good thing that I'm planning on restarting it, so that's okay. So we're currently just attached to the Canadarm, right? And this is not a very solid attachment, but it is a nice and far away attachment, so it's a relatively safe one. Let's just bring Bill down to the shuttle, and let's land on the ladder here. Little bit further, and we grab. Okay, now we can remove this strut, and the question is, do we have the reach to place a strut out over here? We can place it here. Which I guess works. And then connect it down over this way. Yeah, that'll be fine. And I'm just going to do one on the other side. I just want to make sure that this is relatively steady, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. So just placing in a strut over here as soon as I can find a spot where the game will let us. Yep, and then connect that right down over here. I really don't think we need more than 2 struts here. That did not work. Okay, we'll try it again. We may need to attach it to this side of it up here, right? That worked. Okay, that'll be fine. That should be enough stability there. So now we are going to undock from the Dexter. There we go. And we need to get ourselves a little bit of distance here. So I want to make sure that we're controlling from here. That would be ideal. And we're just going to go, yeah, down a bit from our current perspective. Okay, so just getting a little bit of space there. Next up, we're going to need to deploy this guy. So we're going to bring him out to a 90-degree marker. Just like that. And I'm going to extend out this arm as well, although not right now. Let's not do it right now. For the time being, we're going to need to unextend this arm. So that's going to go down to 0, and then this guy is just going to get stowed back away. So that is absolutely fine at about a 90-degree angle there. Actually, no, this is going to be a 180-degree angle. Okay. Cool. So that's all good. I'm not sure why we are swaying so much. I guess it's because of the center of mass from this guy. Sure, that's absolutely fine. Not too concerned about that. We are going to need Bill to hop out and strut it, though, so that does stop. It'll eventually be a problem, but right now it's not. So let's just strut this on. And it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to temporarily attach our pressurized section of the Kerbal module. And that is probably going to end up being on this missing port out over here, which we do have a spare port that we brought with us to replace that port. So that'll be absolutely fine. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.